Five,
again.
5, 6, 7, 8 people.
Okay, good.
So you started?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So J.K. Rowling said, "We're all human, aren't we? Every human life is worth the same and worth saving." So abortion is a growing controversy between Americans, and abortion needs to be stopped. So the definition, or my definition of abortion, is basically them going in and cutting the umbilical cord so that the baby essentially dies. And then they just kind of vacuum it out, put it into a trash can. So some facts. Okay, so at 3 weeks, the eyes are visible in the baby. At 4 weeks, the heart is beating. At 7 weeks, muscles and nerves start working together. At 8 weeks, you're able to feel pain. At 9 weeks, little bit more than 90% of body structures, of adult body structures, can be visible and seen in babies. Fetus. And then at 10 weeks, the brain and spinal cords start working together, and the baby starts getting sensitive to touch. At 14 weeks, arm and leg movements, and at 20 weeks, they can start hearing sound. And in Texas, you can legally have an abortion until, I think it's 24, but I couldn't really find the exact one, so 24 weeks. And that's really sad because of all of those things. So, Abby Johnson was about to become the CEO of Planned Parenthood until they asked her to go into a room and assist with an abortion. So she was holding the ultrasound thing on the belly, and she saw the baby, and it was just kind of laying there. And when they put the probe in, it started moving backwards, and it was trying to get away from it. And so, she pretty much broke down, and she was like, "Oh my gosh," because apparently Planned Parenthood was telling them all lies and stuff. And so she got out of Planned Parenthood, and so now she speaks and spreads the words and stuff. So a lot of people apparently ask if the fetus can feel pain, and they all say no. But the answer is yes, depending on what week you do. And so they try to get away from it, and they were scrambling, and it's really sad. Most of the people that get abortions, they get it because they feel like it's the only way, it's their only option. I went to Planned Parenthood with my church and my friends, and we just kind of walked around, and it was really surprising because there was about 20 volunteers there. I don't know why they spend their days standing there, and they pretty much yelled at you if you stepped on a blade of grass, and they're just there. And then when somebody drives up, they start waving frantically for the people to go inside, and then everybody else on the street's like, "No, stop," and they're yelling, and they probably just feel really, really confused, really scared. And I remember just seeing the people's faces and how scared and confused and everything looked on their face, because everyone was surrounding them, and they're like, "I don't know what to do," and so they think that this is their only option, and so they go for it. So the causes of abortion is just different types of pregnancies, like teen pregnancies that they don't want to go through it, or accidental pregnancies, or just if you get a pregnancy and they feel like they can't financially support the baby, or they just don't really want one. So 15% of Americans are missing because of abortion. There's a lot of effects to abortion. Mothers get a lot of emotional problems later in life, like depression, because they don't know what could have been, and they have a hole in their heart. And you can get serious medical problems. A lot of people get cramps, extreme pain, a lot of bleeding. And then also you can get post-abortion syndrome. So, yeah. And then the solution would be to ban abortion, go to maybe support groups, or just adoption. I think banning abortion would be really nice, but I don't think we're really headed that way right now. But there's a a lot of other ways to stop it. If you know someone that's pregnant, make them feel loved. Make sure that they know that that's not the only way, and they have more options. Or just like adoption, because if you feel like you can't financially support it, you can just give it to adoption for people who can't have babies because they're unable to, or like gays who, same sex. And then, yeah, you don't know because the person who they could have killed that day could have been the person who cured cancer, and nobody knows that. They're not giving any of the babies a chance in life. So what you can do is you can try to lead them into the right direction. It's not like good to have arguments with friends that aren't pro-life, but if the subject comes up, just try to like reason with them and say your facts, because I mean there's a lot of facts. Just educating people like what I'm doing right now, and then maybe that will help. A lot of the people also probably don't know the full story, so if they knew everything behind abortion, they probably wouldn't do it. I know somebody was saying at a church that they have like centers where people who had abortions went for a retreat, and all of them regretted it. So if they knew beforehand, they would have done it. Also, if it's voting season, not to vote for people who aren't pro-life, because then nothing's going to happen. Abortion is one of those many problems and debatable subjects in America, and right now it needs to be stopped. Ronald Reagan once said, "I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born."